It's
All right.
early.
Good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate your patience. And thank you for being here today. I want to start off first by wishing all the luck in the world to all our sports teams. Got a lot of big games right now this week and this weekend as well. Um, Sorry, there's a little thing popping up here. And certainly a very busy and a very important week for all of our teams. And then for us today, got in pads for the first time. And it was awesome. It was a really intense practice. Worked a lot of different situations, primarily third down, but certainly really emphasizing technique and fundamentals, the importance of ball security, knocking the ball out, also creating negative plays, forcing turnovers, a lot of one-on-one, two-on-two, five-on-four competitions, creating battles at several positions. Actually ran three groups of guys and alternated guys with just about all the groups playing different combinations and having different guys work together and experimenting to see what we can come up with to help our football team get better. And then close it out with a lot of coverage drill work with our special teams, where we feel that, again, with the addition of some new talent, with some of our guys getting healthier, we should be a vastly improved special teams unit. So that being said, open to questions.
Tyson Alger, The Athletic.
Mario, Coach DeRuiter and Moorhead have both talked about like how much that they've been able to pick up from you during their time here. And I'm just curious, having two former head coaches, like what have you been able to glean off of them? And then how does that actually impact like even planning like a practice in April? Like does that have you picked up anything from them in terms of how they were able to schedule things and so on?
Oh, without a doubt. And you got Bobby Williams too, a third head coach. So there's we have a really good think tank in there, and what you're able to do is, we've all been at different places and we see things a certain way. At the end of the day, it has to be in a way that helps our players get better, improve, and for us to win football games. So we have a blueprint, one that we strongly believe in. And as we sit there and tweak things here and there, there's just a lot of similarities and a lot of carryover. But absolutely, I learned a lot from all those guys. Those guys have been in the trenches. They've been in the tough situations. They've been on teams that have had to rebuild themselves. They've been on teams that have been championship programs. And so they've seen it. They've seen a lot. So there's a lot of bouncing ideas off of each other. There's a lot of meeting time that we spend together just trying to find ways to improve everything. So yeah, they're invaluable, and their experience is more than just X's and O's. They've, with their own kids, right? Growing up and whatnot. So yeah, they're tremendous. We're blessed, man. We're really blessed.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Coach, last year, a lot of six-person rotation on that offensive line. Talking to Coach Mirabal the other day, he was saying that he's seeing maybe even much deeper than that heading into this next season. Talk about what you're seeing from the offensive line in terms of depth.
Big bodies that move really fast with explosiveness. They get their feet in the ground, get particularly that second step in the ground, and play with a flat back and get their hands inside and can block low to high. As you guys know, Coach Mirabal is a phenomenal teacher, and you've got a really good chunk of guys that are earning themselves into playing time and really ramping up the competition across the board, giving us versatility, allowing us to elevate the standard at which we operate. And the best part about it is these older guys, they are doing a really good job with the younger guys, getting them trained up, understanding the importance of being early and taking care of your body, watching extra film, how to study film, how to even study your individual drill film, and how that carries over to how you perform in unit drills. And then, of course, the team settings. I do see that. And I see it because it's just, they have invested time and the results are shown already. Now, it's the first day in pads, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I think of the guys that were here a year ago, and I'm going to refer to my sheet because I have some stuff I want to hit on. The older guys are doing a really good job. And then you look at the younger guys that got here last year during the pandemic, like a Jonathan Dennis, and how well he's doing right now. Marcus Harper, Jalen Jeffers is progressing great. Big Faope, who came in at a certain weight and has trimmed himself down, where he's made himself a really good football player. Logan Sagapulo, who's also trimmed himself down and plays with massive power, really powerful guy that can really put a dent in the line of scrimmage. And of course, these young guys are very heralded. They warrant that type of, hype and whatnot, because they are highly, highly skilled guys that are going to help us win this year. So yeah, it's been a great 3 working days with those guys, watching them perform, watching them push each other.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Mario Verone was talking a lot about how the competition is maybe at an all-time high from him in his perspective since he's been here. What have you seen from the competition, and how useful can that be as a tool to just get the best out of your program in a time like this where it's just all skill development?
Well, I do want to mention Verone because he's taken his level up another notch or two and showed he actually had himself a pick 6 today. And the way he's pushing himself and pushing others, it's contagious. So what do I see? I do see that. And that's the goal of when you go out and recruit your roster. You want to build it with guys that can push the guys in front of them or the guys that they're coming in to play with. And you want to see them compete and embrace competition the right kind of way, understanding that that's the only way everyone's going to get better. You see here in our building, competition is a really welcome thing. It's not I've been at places where it's kind of postured the wrong way. Well, someone's here to maybe take your job and whatnot. It's like, no, we're here to make sure that we maximize our ability to get the best out of each other. That goes for coaches too. It has to be that way. It's not solely for the players. It's the DNA of the entire program. And now, going into this season and going into spring ball with the way that we did things in the fourth quarter, that's what you see. And you see it at a high level. That's going to pay dividends. It's going to pay dividends. We're excited about it.
Ryan Thorburn, Register Guard.
Mario, Kayvon was saying one of his goals this year is to win the Heisman Trophy, which obviously is an incredible goal to have, especially for a defensive player. What does that say just about his confidence, and do you think that would be possible for a defensive player in today's age?
I think it's very possible for a defensive player, and I think the thing about KT, he's a high achiever, and he wants to be around guys that are into high achievement standards, and he sees himself as limitless. We feel the same way. Sky's the limit for him. And, if you look at it, he played a year and then really a half a season, right? His best football is still ahead of him. His body's continuing to grow larger, stronger, more explosive, more flexible. His football IQ continues to increase. He coached the Rooters, got a tremendous amount of experience, has coached some really high level edge players before. And all that right there, the combination of all those things, and with a guy that wants to win championships, it's exactly what you want for your football team. So, yeah, he's pushing himself. He's pushing others. I know the tackle edge, the 1-on-1, the 5-on-4, 2-on-2 stuff that we do is really fun to watch. I'm really looking forward to getting in there today and dissecting that film and seeing how these guys got after each other from an effort standpoint, a technique standpoint, how they play with pad level, how they just try to absolutely just get after each other to make each other better. So, yeah, all the above and then some with all the things you said about KT.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Mario, with Sean now out and you guys you talked about in competition drills and pads, how difficult and kind of how have you been managing the running back reps with just a couple of scholarship guys on campus right now?
Yeah, well, the guys that are on scholarship have done a great job. Cross Patton has done a really good job as well. And, we're trying to make our team more versatile. So we have experimented with some things formationally, personnel wise, put guys in that role right there that have probably done it in high school a significant amount, but haven't seen that position in a long time, to be able to continue to practice, but also have a contingency plan should something like this, happen during the season. Obviously we expect our guys to be healthy come season time and whatnot, but it's at the same time, this does give us the opportunity to plug in certain guys back there that we feel not only are just there to help us practice, but if something does happen where we need them there, that they can actually perform.
Aaron Heisen, Daily Emerald.
Yeah. Hey, Coach Cristobal. I was just wondering, with a lot of the new faces on the staff, especially on the defensive side, who on the defensive side has stepped up as the leaders for the players?
Oh man. Well, you had a couple of them earlier on here. Those guys really stand out. I think Mace Funa's leadership is really starting to show. I think Brandon Dorles's leadership is starting to show. I see really good flashes of play by Keon and by Suave. going right down the line. The linebackers, those guys have really stepped up. Isaac Slade and Noah. Drew Mathis has done a really good job. On the back end, I can't say enough about DJ James and the way that he is pushing himself, the way he is performing. Happel, man, my man Happel, he finds a way to get to the ball and makes plays, doing a really, really good job. Not only him playing, but also leading others. Mikael Wright is now really committing himself to changing his body and getting bigger and getting stronger because he's a very dynamic player. And if he's going to play, as many downs as we expect him to play and jump back there in the kicking game, we got to continue to build him up. So I love seeing, Jackson LeDuc out there, healthy, ready to go. Justin Flo's right on the cusp of doing that as well. So I know your question was about leadership, but I want to take the opportunity to mention a couple guys that have stood out. But these guys are pushing. And I thought it was neat that they always find a way to bring the focus back to building, our football family stronger through the ability to get together and meet and practice and all this stuff, which is, again, lost time of last year that we can't make up, but we could certainly go forward and make the most of.
Andrew Hobner, KZI.
Yeah, Mario, Kayvon just talked about how he's, putting his hand less in the dirt substantially more this spring moving.
We lost you, Andrew.
Lost you. You're on mute, buddy.
Sorry, do you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry. Yeah, just what was the decision-making process between moving Kayvon into more of an outside linebacker role and just how you think he's performed in that role with different responsibilities so far this spring?
Oh, I think what we're talking about is a certain package as opposed to what he's going to be doing full time. There's a lot of things he's going to be doing. And springtime for us is a time for us to experiment, different personnel groups, putting guys in different positions, trying different techniques. You will see KT doing what he does, what you've seen him do, and you'll see him do it often. So I wouldn't worry about that too much.
James.
I just want a little bit more detail on the quarterback rotation plans going forward through the spring. Are all the Saturdays going to be scrimmages starting this week? Or are you waiting a week? When will that start? And just what's the rotation with the ones in terms of just big picture? And with Ashford specifically, because he has a couple of road baseball weekends here coming up, not this weekend, but the one after and the one of the spring game, are you allowing him to go on the road, or will he not travel with baseball while spring is going on?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first part, in terms of the quarterbacks themselves, and let's go back to the scrimmage part. We're going to practice. We're going to have a regular practice Saturday. We will end it with some live plays of football. So there'll be live tackling in it, but it won't be an entire day dedicated to scrimmaging because we still have to plug in certain situations to give our players a chance. And in fairness to them, you need to install your high red zone, your low red zone stuff, your short yard, your goal line stuff, your third down packages, your multiple personnel groupings to make sure that when we do get to those situations that they're repping what we're going to do. So that's why we're not having a full blowout scrimmage. In terms of the quarterbacks and the repetition, I'll start with Robbie because, Robbie is splitting time with baseball and football. We have to manage those hours. And it's like to the T. So tons of credit to him academically, what he's accomplished, and the ability to do both. On weekends, right now, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but he will be playing baseball. He has sometimes even had to split the days. And we try to get him around when we have our team period so he could work with the different units and actually play football and not just be there for individual time. So it's quite a challenge. Robbie's done really well with it, and he's progressed very well. Right now with the ones, Anthony has taken every rep with the ones so far, and we've been moving around the guys that have been taking the reps with the twos. And we feel that they deserve that. After Saturday, when I say Saturday, after next Saturday when we scrimmage, is when we'll really start looking at, okay, how do the reps have to go going forward? Right now, we feel this is the best way to make our team better.
We got time for a couple more. Max Torres, Ducks Digest.
Mario, just wanted to see if I could get a quick personnel update. Can you confirm the transfer of Andrew Fallu?
Well, he's in the transfer portal, so I can confirm that.
And we'll go to Tyson Alger, last question.
This is a doozy. Have you been able to get any film on the actor who played a young Mario Cristobal a couple weeks ago on the Young Rock?
I have not watched film. Okay. I knew this was coming. I knew it was coming, but I have not had a chance to watch. I guess I should, because I know you'll be ready for me again next time I'm on this thing. So I'll check it out for you. I'll break it down for you. He better be a strapping, handsome young man with tremendous just explosiveness and the ability to block people. Okay. And hopefully that's what we got. But Hollywood is Hollywood. So I don't know, man.
They have you essentially ending his career in the Oklahoma drill. Is that accurate?
Hey, I could only block James like that. I think we'd have a heck of a chance. You know what I mean? No, Dwayne is a good friend and certainly was a great teammate at the time. And I'll get a chance to watch all that stuff and, hopefully catch up on it some other time. Good days back in the day. Won a lot of football games, great experience with some great coaches and a lot of stuff that we actually use nowadays in our program. So I'll check it out for you, buddy.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right, man. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you, everybody.